Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family. I share all about that and more on my channel. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to be talking about our August monthly budget recap. These are so interesting to film. I was going to say fun, but this one is not so much fun because we did go over budget in quite a few areas this month. It was a little rough, okay? I feel like we were just like end of summer, like we just had so many fun things going on. It was just like the budget was kind of in the back of our mind this month. It was just not top of mind. I was not thinking about the budget. I was not checking in with the budget as much as I normally would. So that definitely reflected in our budget this month. But you know what, you guys, I remember filming our August budget with me video, and I talked a little bit about how this month we had extra income from extra paychecks for my husband and I. We normally budget based on my husband and I having 2 paychecks. In this month we had 3, and I remember talking about in that video, like, I just want to have a good balance this month. Like, I don't want to just kill myself to put all of this extra money towards our financial goals. Like, I want to have a good balance of having fun and like ending the summer on a really fun note, and also like having the balance of still working on our financial goals, still putting more money towards our financial goals, but also remembering that like we can also loosen the reins a little bit. So I do feel like even though we did overspend in quite a few areas, it might look a little crazy on paper, that we actually did pretty good. And I feel like we struck a really good balance. We had a really fun birthday party for my 2 oldest kids. They had like kind of milestone birthdays in July and August. And so in August, we threw like a big birthday party. We invited, it was like mostly for my older son. He turned 10, and then my daughter turned 5 in July. And so she had some friends come over. My son had a bunch of friends. We had like 20 10-year-olds and a bunch of my daughter's friends too, and family. And it was just really fun. Like, it was such a great event. I underestimated the amount of money we would spend on it, so I'll talk about that in a second, but that was really fun. And then, yeah, we just had a great month of like celebrating the last bit of summer and just doing fun things with the kids. My son started football. He's about to start baseball again too. My daughter is about to start soccer again, and she's also doing swimming. So we've got like lots of events going on, lots of sports about to start again and ending, and it's just crazy. So let's go ahead and get into it. I don't want to ramble too much. Let's talk about income first. So we had budgeted based on $11,200. Again, we did have that extra paycheck for my husband and I. We are both salaried, and so that was what our paychecks were, $11,200. They were a little bit higher because if there is a third paycheck, we don't have certain deductions taken, like our medical and those kind of things. Sorry, gotta open snacks. Quick intermission. There you go. So we did have a little bit extra money because we didn't have some of those deductions. So $11,200 was what we budgeted on. That is what we received from our normal jobs. We also had side hustle income, so this is not something that we budget based on, but we did have $240 in side hustle income in the month of August. It was a pretty good side hustle income month for us. So that was 200. Oh my gosh, I am like unable to write today. I'm sorry, it's early in the morning when I'm filming this. So my hand has not quite woken up yet. Total income for the month of August was $11,440. That is a lot of money, and we spent it. Okay, we spent a lot of it, but we did put some of it into savings as well. So I feel like we struck a pretty good balance, but could have been better. You know, it's a juggling game. I feel like ever since we paid off debt, I've been struggling with my mindset on like balance in general. Maybe that should be my word for 2025, balance. I feel like that would be a good word for me for 2025. So first fixed expense we had was our mortgage. That was $2,527. We do have an escrow shortage that we're paying back, so it's a little bit more than I'm hoping it'll be in the future. So that was 22% of our income this month. We also had a cell phone bill. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that we use Mint Mobile. So my son actually had his annual Mint Mobile due in August. So we did pay that. That ended up being $201. So I was a little bit off there by $1. So we had his cell phone for the year. So that is for the whole year, $200 for my son's cell phone. It's not really his cell phone. It's like a house phone, but he's the one that primarily uses it because he's 10. And so anytime he's going to like a birthday party or a sport or like he's away from us, we send him with the phone just in case he needs to contact us or get a hold of us or anything. The next thing that we had was $500 that we had set aside for the birthday party. Now, you guys didn't tell me, okay? You didn't tell me how expensive these kids' birthday parties are. I haven't hosted a kid's birthday party in quite a while. We just haven't had the time, to be honest, over the last few years to like host a birthday party or do like any sort of like big event. We obviously always celebrate my kids' birthdays, but we haven't done like a full out like party. I budgeted naively $500. We actually spent $765 on the birthday party. Now, again, we did have a lot of people. So we got pizza actually from Costco, which if you guys are hosting a birthday party, that is like an amazing way to feed a lot of people for like really cheap. So I'm really glad we did that because that definitely helped us not spend more. The biggest expense for the birthday party was we rented a 18-foot blow up water slide for our backyard as like the main event, like the main thing that we did. It was really fun, but it was $600. I did not realize how expensive those rentals are. Like, that is crazy to me. I had no clue. I thought it would be like a few $100s. I was like, oh, probably like $250, $300. No, $600. Crazy. So that definitely threw us off, but we were like committed at that point. I had already sent out invitations. Like I was all in. So I was like, all right, we're spending $600. And then the other like $165, like I said, was just miscellaneous. Like we didn't really do a ton of decorations or anything, but we did do some. And then also the food, like I said, Costco pizza is like definitely the way to go. And we did have a few of our family members bring some like miscellaneous food as well, like side items and stuff. So that made it a little bit cheaper, but we definitely went over budget on that. And like I said, I'm super happy that we had that party. It was so much fun. My kids had a blast. They loved having their friends here and it was a great time. So no regrets on that, but definitely more than I expected. Next up, we had our Peloton bike. So we do have a monthly membership for that for $45. Then we have our utilities. This is our internet, which is $60, and our electric and gas, which is on budget billing, and that is at $219. So we budgeted $279 and it was $279. That doesn't change for us right now because of the budget billing. And I also do have an update on that. Actually, so our current budget billing was $219, and I actually just got an email yesterday that said that we are actually reducing our budget billing to $196 starting in September. They do like a 6-month check-in. So every 6 months they like reevaluate how you're spending and then like reduce or increase. So we're actually going down, which is really exciting. So that'll be a little bit less for the month of September. Next up is our brokerage. We do have a recurring brokerage on the first of every month for $100. We started this a few months ago just like have some things going in there on like a regular basis. We weren't really doing anything with our brokerage account and we really wanted to start using it more. So we are putting $100 a month every single month on auto into our brokerage account. I don't know what we're gonna like use that for. We don't have any plans for it. It's got a few $1,000s in it. It's not like a huge balance, but we do have a few $1,000s in there. No clue what we're gonna use that for, but we don't really need to know right now, but it's good to just be investing in that. And then we also have $100 that auto goes to St. Jude for our donation every single month. We donate $100 every single month to St. Jude, which is a children's hospital. If you guys aren't familiar, they are an amazing organization and I love donating to them. So $100 a month goes to that. Next up, we had spending. We give each other $100 each, my husband and I, for spending. This goes into our personal checking accounts and we can just do whatever we want with it, spend it, save it, whatever. So $200 went there. Then we had our gas, which is $250. This is for our cars. We budgeted $250. We spent $243. So we were a little bit under on gas, which is great. We didn't do a ton of driving this month. We were kind of home, I feel like, a lot during this last month of summer. So 2% for gas. Next up is groceries. We had increased this for this month because we knew like end of summer Probably going to be expensive. We did go over budget because we actually did have 2 Costco trips this month. That was not really initially planned, but we just ended up going to Costco twice, which really like killed the budget because we spent a lot of money at Costco both times. But it was kind of like the last trip we had was like the preparation trip for like back to school. And so we did just have a lot of things that we wanted to get, like convenience items. Honestly, like there was nothing that we like absolutely had to get, but it was definitely like a convenience trip for me. I was like in my feelings a little bit with like school starting, and I was like, all right, let's go get like snacks and all this stuff. So definitely could have done better this month on groceries, but I feel like $100 is not, you know, a huge deal. And like I said, mostly it was because of those snacks. And I'm hoping that maybe our budget will be a little bit better in September because of that, because we just did that trip like right at the end of August. So we should have some of that last us through part of September as well. Fun and kids, this is our budget for like anything related to our kids. Like if they have a birthday party, we can buy a gift from this fund, or like if we go do something as a family. We had budgeted $150 because I knew August would probably be a more expensive month. We spent $173. Again, I feel like that's not too bad. We did go over budget, but you know, $20 I feel like is reasonable. Then miscellaneous, we budget $200 for like anything miscellaneous, and I spent $268. We did have, so like a chunk of this, like $60, which is crazy, was actually for football pictures. I didn't realize that they take like professional football pictures, and I'm a sucker for those sports pictures, you guys. Like I just can't not buy them. So I spent like $60 on football pictures, and also my husband is coaching football, so he like, I got a picture of him and my son, and then just my son, and it was like $30 each. So yeah. That was that. Next year, I guess I'll have to remember that for planning purposes. And then we had like just a few other miscellaneous things throughout the month that we had to get. Dining out, we had budgeted $300 and we actually spent $370. So we did go over budget in eating out too, which I guess is not surprising. I really probably should have increased this as well. I actually had the thought to increase it, and then I was like, no, we should leave it. Like I don't want to increase it, but we ended up spending more anyway. So that's that. Next category is our sinking funds, and this is a fun one this month because we did put more towards our sinking funds than we normally do because we had the extra money, and I wanted to balance like spending money on like our financial goals that we're working on, but also like making sure that our savings are in a good spot. So we had budgeted $250 for our car, $200 for kids. This is used for like back to school, sports registration. This is like our bigger kids fund. So like I have our fun and kids in like our monthly budget. That's more so for like the day-to-day kid stuff. This is for like those annual things like annual fees, our Zoom membership I usually take out of here, school pictures I usually take out of here, school supplies, like those bigger items. So I put $200 in kids this month. And then $200 for home, $750 for vacation because we are hoping to take a vacation in March or April of next year. So I wanted to make sure that we were like beefing that up a little bit. So for car, we ended up actually doing $350 because my car needed some work in August. And then also in September, we have our 6-month car insurance due. And so I just wanted to put an extra $100 in there to kind of soften the blow of like all these really big expenses coming out of there. So we ended up doing $350 instead of what we had planned. But for everything else, we did exactly what we planned. So we sent $200 to kids, $200 to home, $750 for vacation, and $100 for Christmas. We've been doing $100 for Christmas the whole year, so that will be built up for Christmas time. We should have about $1,200 by December to be able to spend on Christmas items, so feeling good about that. So that is what we did for sinking funds. So we had quite a bit of our money going to sinking funds, and then for our financial goal, we ended up sending $34.30 to our Roth IRA. I can't remember what I had estimated. I always forget to look back at that. Like I always forget. I don't remember what I had put in our budget initially, but that is always kind of an estimate anyway. And then what we end up sending is whatever we are able to end up sending based on how much we spend up here. So $3,430 this month went towards finishing out my husband's Roth IRA, and then also doing starting my Roth IRA for 2024. So we made really good progress on my Roth IRA, and then also we did end up finishing my husband's, and that was actually 30% of our income this month, which I feel really good about. I feel like that's a really good number. Based on like the balance that I was trying to achieve, I feel like we definitely did that. So I'm super thrilled with everything that happened this month. I know it wasn't ideal with some of the overspending, but I do feel like we still made a lot of really good progress, and some of our overspending was good, like sending more money to savings. So it wasn't all bad. So a recap for the month, we had our total income at $11,440. Our total expenses, so everything that we talked about here, was $11,409, which leaves our difference a positive $31. That will just go into our buffer. So I keep a buffer in our checking account. I try not to like drain it all the way to zero every single month. Obviously, we want to have a little bit in there in case a bill comes out early or things like that come up, extra things come up. So $31 will go to our buffer, and that is our recap for August. Let me know in the comments down below, how was August for you? I would love to hear about it, and I will talk to you guys on Friday for Debt Free Friday. Bye guys.